One. Hello, everybody. Greetings, YouTubers. Greetings, Man United lovers. Greetings, football lovers worldwide. Welcome to the United Real Therapy as we look forward to what is a huge week of Man United season. The next two games will determine where we are in the two cup competitions, starting on Thursday night, tomorrow night. With AC Milan in the Europa Cup, which I hate that cup. I absolutely despise it. I hate that cup. I hate it with life. I hate it. But anyway, we're here to preview that game and also discuss other issues. And I'm here tonight. It's a pleasure to welcome some of the boys that chop the football talk with usually. It's Oli Bumbaye, which is a voice. So I'm introducing you to a voice tonight. Oli Bumbaye, as you can see him, and my friend Irfan. We're also waiting for Mundo to jump in. Welcome, guys. First of all, big week ahead. Oli Bumbaye, what can you tell us? This is defining Man United season. The next two games will have a huge impact on Man United season. So can you please kick us off? What you thinking?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Dino, Mr. Structure, for having us on. Evening, Mundo, Earth.
Evening.
Yeah, that's the intro. We'll get to it in a minute. Let Earth and
Yeah. And then we've got obviously our resident DJ selector, one of the best to ever do it. Irfan Rainey. Irfan, talk to me. Big United fan. You supporting United since the 1970s?
77. What do you want me to talk? I mean, where do you want me to start?
It's a big week for Man United this week.
Yeah, you mean Leicester at the weekend and AC on AC tomorrow. I mean, having watched the first leg, I can't see us winning tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be our first reality check tomorrow. I know we've got an amazing unbeaten away record, but I actually think tomorrow is going to catch up with us. Having watched the first leg and the fact that they've got the Turkish guy, Hakan, is it Çalhanoğlu? He's coming back. Ibrahimovic is back, and they've also got Rebic back as well. Yeah. And I watched quite a lot of their games at the start of this season, and they were firing. They've only come unstuck in the last 5 to 10 games, and into their rivals have sort of taken over. But they had the fluidity, and they just got on this vibe where they just kept winning. And the fact that we could only draw 1-1 against them away. I can't see us doing it, because what it showed to me last week is the difference in the midfield. Our midfield is nothing compared to theirs, and theirs is not even what I call a great midfield. It's a solid midfield, but it's not a great midfield. I mean, look at Chelsea's today. Let's be honest. Look at their midfield today. Look at the way Kante played today. And my biggest problem with Man United is when you've got two defensive midfielders like McTominay and Fred, they can tackle, but they can't pass. And you can do that against dodgy teams in the Premier League, but at this level, which is what I call the B league of European football, we're just going to get found out, you know. And this is where Oli, you know, needs to work out what kind of coach he is, you know, whether he's going to be able to get past this level. Because let's be honest, he's sustained us, he's stabilized us, but I can't see us getting past this particular level. Having watched, what's their guy? Because is it Kike? What's their midfield? Kessie. I mean, this guy, you see the guy, he takes the ball off the keeper, bang, roll forward all day long. I mean, we need a player like that guy. We need somebody like him, somebody who can pass and has got an engine.
24-year-old Ivorian.
Yeah, Ivorian. Yeah,
24 years old. He made Matic and was it Matic and McTominay look like Division 1 players. But anyway, Mundo, welcome, resident of this channel already.
Easy.
Talk to me. What are you looking forward to? A great big week ahead for Man United. What are you thinking in the two games? Obviously, starting with tomorrow night against AC Milan. San Siro. We've had a bit of history there.
It's a difficult game tomorrow because the onus is on Manchester United, because they've got the away goal, right? They're not going to play into our hands, I assume, right, by trying to attack us and getting caught on a counter-attack. We have to score. They don't have to score, yeah? So and when it comes to us, the onus being on Man United to dictate play, to score, to open teams up, we flop, right? One big, massive belly flop, right? So tomorrow, is going to be a real test. And Pogba apparently is in the squad. If he doesn't play tomorrow in our midfield, I'm not very hopeful, because we need him to open up Milan, right? We need that ingenuity, because without that ingenuity, it's going to be a tough game, tough game. They might be naive. We don't know. They might come out and try and score and play open, but if they don't, well, we know that we're not great at breaking teams down, and we're talking about teams at the level of Palace and West Brom, and this is AC Milan, and it's not AC Milan of old, but still they've got quality players, and their team's going to be stronger tomorrow than it was at Old Trafford.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a real test. And then Leicester at the weekend. Well, it's a game of counter attack, isn't it? Because they're a counter attacking team as well. So it's like, I feel more confident about the Leicester game than I do the Milan game.
Yeah. Right, we'll come into the voice. The voice. Give us your Oli Bumbaye. Give us your thoughts on Milan. Looking ahead.
Oli Bumbaye.
Oli Bumbaye, yeah. Most of you don't know, watch the Ali documentary or the film about Ali in Zaire. That's the reference, Oli Bumbaye.
Yeah, man. Well, you know me, man. I'm always optimistic. I don't go into any game believing we're going to lose it. But you're asking me about Milan. I don't know too much about this team other than the first leg. I think tomorrow we'll score, and genuinely, I think we're going to do it. To be honest with you, simple as that, really.
Optimistic. Oh, forever the optimist.
He is.
The voice inside us is always the optimist, eh? That's what I'm talking about. So basically, tomorrow they should have Theo Hernandez back, Kalanoglu. I can't say, I'm butchering his name.
Kalanoglu.
And they were missing those big 4 games, and obviously Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which is it's incredible that he's still playing. I mean, he's getting a bit with the comments he's coming out with. Some of the comments he's been coming out with in the past month have been a bit granddaddy, let's just say, a bit senile. But on the pitch, he's fantastic. And I think Baye's not travelled. Team news for Man United. I think Baye's not travelled. So it's going to be a very interesting thing. Zlatan against Lindelof and Maguire tomorrow.
He's going to bully them.
It's going to be a very interesting contest. But like Mundo was saying, we've got Donny's travelled, apparently. Donny's travelled, Pogba's travelled. I think we've got Donny, Pogba back. Martial's not travelled. And Cavani, last minute, has not travelled. And apparently there's some rumours going around that there might be a fallout between Oli and Cavani. But Cavani, I did say, and people had a go at me because I said United bought him on the last day, and he was the guy who was a has-been. I mean, he shocked me with his performances in the Premier League. That must be said. But I was right about his injury record. I wasn't wrong about his injury record. But coming to you, Irfan, let's say we get knocked out of both, or we get knocked out tomorrow night. Are you really bothered? Are you bothered about the Europa League?
And tell you the truth, I'm not bothered about it because I don't think our squad is strong enough to cope with playing on how many fronts? What, the league, the FA Cup, the Europa League? I just think we're probably a 2 competition team out of that with the strength. Because let's be honest, without Pogba, we're nothing. We're nothing without that guy. If you look at our dip in form since he's gone, since he's been injured. We become a draw. We're lucky to get draws, and it was a lucky win to a certain extent. The goal was lucky against West Ham last game, but I haven't seen us really sort of dominate. Like play free flow. And my biggest problem with Pogba is that I still think he plays too deep. I'd like him to play much further forward. I don't think what you get out of a guy, playing so deep. A guy like him, you've got McTominay and Fred to do that. So I'm not optimistic. And the other problem is, if you look at like the Leicester game, is if you watch Leicester, the reason like these Leicesters and Chelsea stood really well is because they move the ball so quickly. They're fast teams. They've got little fast guys. We still play. When I watch United, I think we're playing Serie A of old. That's what I watch, is when I see the speed of the game. And that's the thing with Pogba. Pogba only, to me, works really well when you've got really fast, creative midfielders around him, and that's when he can really shine. I mean, look at his glory days when he had Pirlo behind him. I mean, when you're going to get a better guy, a ball-playing guy like than Pirlo? So, I mean, this is a thing. So, if you know your football, you know we're really punching above our weight, even to be second. I think it's quite misleading for us. But the fans, you know, what's the word we use? Drunk on success. So we're expecting to be good. But like I said, you know, I hope we win. You know, I don't want to be too negative. I hope we win, but I just can't see it tomorrow. I just can't. You know, and the fact that all the thing that also makes us all upset is that we're so inconsistent. I mean, look at the game against Crystal Palace. I haven't forgot the game against Crystal Palace, to tell you the truth. I still can't get over how bad that game was. I can't believe that was Man United. I can't believe it was. You know, so you got to ask yourself, is it the manager? Is it the players? To tell you the truth, sometimes it's the manager, sometimes it's the players. And it goes backwards and forwards. And like I said, and when Pogba's gone, it shows how frail we really are. I mean, I think we've got more of a chance against Leicester because they're a little bit, I don't think they've got good game management, and, you know, they're sort of prone to sort of, being a bit sloppy. But I watch AC Milan, and with the goals that Ibra scores as well, he's going to bully Lindelof and Maguire tomorrow because he's a physically daunting guy. I mean, it's going to be funny watching him, tell you the truth, watching him. But I did think Maguire had his best game all season last game. I really thought it's the most physical I've seen him. And, you know, I don't know where it came from, that performance against West Ham, because he was a really physical defender. I mean, the amount of blocks and tackles he made, I was impressed with the guy. And, you know, I hate this guy. I would never have him in my team. He should never be captain. But I had to hold my hands up and say, yeah, you know, you really did the business last week. So we need all our players to be on their 9 out of 10 game to have a chance tomorrow. I really think we do. And the fact that we haven't got Martial's hold-up play tomorrow, what we're going to do, this is a game where you need to hold the ball up against the experienced Italian teams.
Well, this is what I'm saying to you. So Rashford cannot hold up the ball. Greenwood cannot hold the ball. Mundo, will you be... I'll come to the voice first. Would you be shocked if your two favourite players start tomorrow in midfield? Fred and McTominay, the voice.
Listen, I don't get it, man. I look at Scott McTominay and I see a fine player that's earned his place in that team. I'm not joking. I know you guys are not his biggest fans, but for me, the guy takes the ball in difficult positions, makes the right passes, and I think his passing is underrated. I'm not saying he's Pogba.
Haley, man. Sometimes he's got the touch of an elephant on the ball. Come on, man, please.
No,
it's all about opinions. It's all about opinions here. So go on.
Honestly, man, you know, for me, we've got a good player there. And last season, it was an amazing season without Pogba and a very thin squad. And this year, one thing I will say that Irfan mentioned is there's two Manchester Uniteds this season. And I think there are reasons for it. One is there are players that are tired. We don't have the luxury of, let's say, a Chelsea quality for pure quality, or City. Rashford, Bruno, they're integral players. We need them and they play a lot. But if Manchester turns up, you can usually tell in the first 10 minutes. If we're on it, then we give anybody trouble. You know, we dealt with City. I thought we were brilliant against Chelsea, especially off the ball. There's been some great performances this year, and there's been some real stinkers. So if we turn up tomorrow, I think we can win this game. But if you're going to get the Sheffield United, Manchester United, everybody looks like, you know, they've had a massive kebab, downed it with a Coke and out before the game, then yeah, you're not going to get what we could get. If they turn up though, which I think they will, I am confident, man, against anybody, and we've shown it this year. Honestly, I know it's inconsistent, but I think the inconsistency is down to tiredness. It's part of the evolution process. But for me, there is progress all over the place. Like Maguire and Lindelof, to be fair to him, you know, brilliant last game. Scott and Fred, bro, for me, they do their job. But, you know, if they turn up, and if Cavani, I don't know, is Cavani fit? Is he playing?
No, Cavani's not fit. Cavani's not travelled.
Bailly's not travelling because he's touch and go. Ollie said in the pre-match press conference, he's got a problem. and I don't know if they want to risk him. But bro, we've got what we've got, and we have to go with it. If the boys turn up, I think we could. You know, I'm confident. Why not, man?
Right, Mundo, coming to you, Mundo. So tomorrow, obviously, nobody holding up the play. Obviously, would you be going with Greenwood or Rashford up front? Who are you going with up front? Central striker.
I would put I thought Greenwood did really well in the last game, playing as the 9. So I would definitely keep Rashford out on the left. But for me, the most critical decision tomorrow for Ollie is who plays in goal, right? That's the biggest decision he's got to make, because when Henderson plays, because he's more commanding, it means our defenders feel more confident to push up. And you've got to push up, because if De Gea's in there and they drop deep, that 10 yards that Gary Neville is always going on about on Sky Sports, with a guy like Ibrahimovic, you're asking for trouble, right? You don't want, if you're going to have a fight with him 20, 30 yards away from the goal. Don't try and out-jump him, win the ball, whatever, underneath your own goal, but underneath your own crossbar, right? Because there's only one winner. Especially we know Harry sometimes, I know he was physical in the last game, but we've seen with physical strikers, and we know what he'll do anyway, Ibrahimovic. He'll target Lindelof, right? He's going to target Lindelof.
His Swedish teammate, which obviously this week is the announcement came out that he's back in the Swedish squad for the Euros. That is Zlatan is back in the Swedish squad for the Euros. So his teammate, he already used to bully him before, and he'll be bullying him again tomorrow night.
Yeah. But we can live with that as long as it's not in our area, because Zlatan's not going to outrun them. He's not going to outrun either one of them. Rafael Leao apparently is injured, right? It's not as though they're a pacey team, so we can afford to push up. But as they drop back, they're in serious, serious trouble. The only thing about Henderson is, if he plays tomorrow, because he made that blunder in the first game, we can see if he's Manchester United's quality in terms of, can he be number 1? Because if he redeems himself tomorrow, if he gets the nod, if Ollie gives him the confidence to start, and he redeems himself and he does well, then he's, because you need to show you've got the balls to be a Man United goalkeeper. So you might be cocky, you might be, banging on the manager's door saying, I want to be number 1, but you've got to do it when it counts, mate. And the Milan game, he made a blunder. De Gea's available again. It's an interesting dilemma for the manager.
Who would you start? Who would you boys start? De Gea or Henderson?
Traveling squad. Let me just give you the traveling squad, right? So the squad traveling tomorrow is De Gea, Henderson, Grant, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Telles, Tuanzebe, Wan-Bissaka, Williams, Ahmad, Fernandes, Fred, James, Matic, McTominay, Pogba, Van der Beek, Greenwood, and Rashford. So that's a traveling squad tomorrow. So that is a traveling squad. To me, I'll be absolutely gobsmacked if I was to see combination of midfield of Fred and McTominay or Fred and Matic. I would absolutely. Then we're definitely going to lose. We are losing that game, right? If Pogba and Donny don't play tomorrow, we're going to lose this game. Mark my words, people. By the way, there's about 35 of you in this and here now, guys. Please hit that subscribe, hit that share and like button, and share the channel, because without you guys, I won't be able to build this community, this great community. We have to build it together. So please like, share, subscribe. And so my team tomorrow would be Henderson. And I totally agree with Mundo. Henderson in there, Wan-Bissaka, obviously Luke Shaw, he's been our best player in the past, couple of months, really, 2 months before Pogba. Pogba was our best player before he got injured. But since then, it's been Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's been having a fantastic season this season so far. So the defense cover itself, I would have liked to have seen Bailly, because Bailly is more physical and he's got brilliant speed. But obviously, they've not got Leao, which is their fast guy actually on the left-hand side. He played up front last week when he played at Old Trafford, because all of their strikers were out. He played up front, but he usually plays on the left-hand side and he's the danger guy. So I'm glad that he's injured. That is a big, big plus for Man United. So I would definitely play tomorrow. I would play 4-3-3 tomorrow. That's what I would do tomorrow. And I would play a combination of Pogba, Fred, Donny, I would suspect Bruno more on the right, kind of, but I know he won't do that because James as well likely play and Rashford play on the left. So I would play Bruno Morley on the right hand side, and then him and Donny can swap places there. And I will play Greenwood down the middle, Rashford on the left hand side. I would play that tomorrow because when we get into good positions, we need goals. And in the European competitions, Donny's movement, Donny's passing, Donny's goals will mean a lot more. And to me, I would get a lot more out of Donny than I would get in James because the game then becomes technical. If you're playing Pogba, Fred, and Van der Beek, and then you're playing Bruno just inside of the right, Rashford off the left, and because we have to go for it, guys. We have to score. Man United have to score. We have to be in the game. We have to score first tomorrow for us to get anything out of this game. So that's my team. Some people might argue and say, oh, bring Donny on. But to me, I will start him on Pogba tomorrow because that midfield needs an injection. I don't know what the voice is. The reason why he's not in here because maybe his eyesight's not that well. So that's why we're not showing him. But he definitely needs to go back to Specsavers because telling me Scott McTominay and Fred can pass. The only thing they could do sideways. They were born. They come out of their mums sideways. That's how bad they are at passing. No. They come out of their mums sideways. That's how bad they are passing those guys.
No, man.
They are honestly disgrace to Man United midfielders of old.
Listen, guys. Fred.
Give me Carrick, and you know my feelings about Carrick. Give me Carrick any day out of those two. They never look forward. The only times those two guys pass the ball forward is when teams come onto us. That's the only time I ever see those guys, and it's straight ball. So teams press us up the pitch, and there's a space for our attackers to run in behind. They couldn't create nothing between them from deep. And Matic, don't even get me started on him. He fights his own alleys, takes about 100 touches. What the heck? Talking about Irfan, you said our midfield or the way we play slow. When Matic plays, he makes our play super slow. But anyway, I'll come to you tomorrow, Irfan. Who's your top three? Oh, who's your team tomorrow? Give me your 11.
I'll go with the. I know he's going to stick with the same back four that he has. I mean, this is the weird thing about this game is that we played the team against West Ham the whole 90 minutes, which I don't understand. You know, he didn't even use a sub for 10 or 15 minutes. This is the thing I don't understand. Why didn't he do that? I don't get it. So now he's really. I think he's going to go with the same team against West Ham that he's played.
Can I just say something? If I 1 second. This is a man who spent most of his time on the bench the majority of his football career.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make any substitutions. That is shocking for me. Shocking.
No, it was bizarre that he didn't give a couple of players like 10, 15, 20 minutes rest in the last game. I didn't get that. Why didn't he do that? That was like brainless to me.
I mean, he could have brought Ahmad on for James. Bring Ahmad on, right? Yes. He just scored a goal in his debut at Old Trafford.
He's got more football intelligence than James has. You can see that in one game against. I mean, do you think James would have scored that header that he did last week? James wouldn't have scored that. He wouldn't have made the run. You know. So look, here's the thing. He's going to stick with Wan-Bissaka. He's going to go with Maguire, Lindelof, and he's going to go for Luke Shaw, right? He's probably going to stick with McTominay and Fred again. He's going to stick with those two, yeah, right? He is because he's not going to play Matic. Right, we've only got a chance if Pogba plays. Pogba got to play at least one half, right? And it's obviously going to be Greenwood. I think Greenwood had his best game for a long time against West Ham. His movement, everything about him. The only thing he missed last week was a goal, so he's going to play. I think he's going to go with James because he likes James. You know, I don't know what he sees in him because I just see this guy that he wind up and he just runs. You know, I don't see a guy who's got the football intelligence, but he has played better than he was playing 3 months ago, so he's improved. Don't get me wrong. Rashford is all heart, so you know he's got it. But we just sort of we're a moments team, aren't we? We haven't got a style of play. We just have these moments. We're moments FC. So I think he's going to go with the same team. But see, my problem with much as I like Donny because I watched him in Ajax, we don't have the team for his type of game. He's a pass and move guy. If all your players are passing and moving constantly, then Donny works. But I still give Donny 20 minutes a game just to show the others how to pass and move. That's why I would play him. But knowing English, Ollie to me is an English football manager. You might be Norwegian, but he's an English football manager. That's who he is, okay? So I don't see anything changing in the team from West Ham. I can't see it because to me, he doesn't have the football in sort of brain and mentality to sort of organize things and be. I don't think he's a technical thinker.
Irfan, he doesn't even do the
knows how
coaching. I've been, for the past years since you took over, I've been defending him. There's loads of footage of me defending him everywhere, criticizing him when I think what I think that he's done something wrong, because that's how I am. I don't just support somebody blindly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna come to you in a minute, the voice. But he doesn't even do the coaching, and that to me just screams. That's just like he said
the man management guy. Though he's a man management guy. He's an arm around the shoulder type of guy. That's who he is.
And then we've got feeling. We've got 1990s, late 80s and 90s football tactics. That's what we've got. Carrick has got no experience. Kieran McKenna.
Is there anything positive?
But anyway,
one thing.
Coming to you, the voice. Obviously, I said some disparaging things about Fred and Nate, your favorite two players, who are there to babysit your other two favorite players in the team, which are.
Is there anything good about this team?
And Lindelof, because they all dictate the way the team plays. We got those two guys, and then we got the other two guys to babysit them, and that dictates the way the team plays. But just coming to you on this one, the voice. I like the energy which we play with against West Ham. Do you think if we have the similar energy, we could just nick it tomorrow, or do you think United are going to go out there and show the whole of Europe and the rest of the teams in the Europa Cup that we mean business this season?
Look, one of the luxuries as a Manchester United fan that I don't seem to have this season is the ability to have an expectation because we are so inconsistent. Now, I've watched games when United have played against Chelsea and City and Liverpool and Leeds, and I'm enjoying watching it. I can see we're pressing teams high. The energy is there. People, you know what? We're causing problems for people, proper. And then I see a game, 3 to 7 days later, where it's like, where's it gone? Where's my team? So it's difficult for you to ask me that. Like I said, I trust the manager, bro, to do the right thing. He knows he needs a win. We need a goal. And we've got the squad we've got, and we have to go. What I think this game is a great test for what is a team in development. You need to play at the San Siro in these types of games where there's a pressure. You have to go and score against a good side. They're one of the best teams in Italy, these. They've got a decent squad, a good young manager as well. So it's not easy. It is a 50-50 game. It's not like Manchester United are going to go and blow anybody. They might. We can. But depends what turns up. My problem is, look, we all over the pitch, I don't really have an issue with us, to be honest. Creativity is lacking in the last third. We just need to start being able to break teams down. But a lot of the time, you've got a Martial that's dreadful. Let's be honest. He's been shocking this year. He's either injured or plays a shocker. Cavani's been injured a lot. But you've seen the difference, what a centre-forward actually has done for United this season in Cavani. We need to
listen, give me your first 11 tomorrow. Who are you playing tomorrow? Give me your team.
Bro, I haven't got a first 11, honestly. I trust the manager to do whatever he's going to do. If we turn up with the energy and play like I've seen we can play, then we've got a great chance of going through. But it could be a complete flat performance, and then we're going to be on here just killing the manager all over again and killing the players. That's the cycle. So, I don't know.
Okay. Mundo, talk to me. What's your first 11 tomorrow?
Couple of things before I say my first 11. All these comments about this trophy.
We'll come to that in a minute. We're going to come to that in a minute, Mundo. But just give me
well, if it was me, if I was picking the team, I would go for a 4-4-2 diamond, right? I think Shaw, the form Shaw is in, I trust him on the left to give us a good attacking outlet and also be able to defend. We don't have anything on the right anyway, but I trust Wan-Bissaka to have it locked down defensively on the right-hand side. So I'm comfortable with the full-backs. We know what who the two centre-halves are going to be. I would start with Henderson in goal. But I just think that our defence needs to be confident and we need to press. So that means our centre halves, our defence needs to be further up the pitch. In midfield, I would play McTominay, and then left of him, I would play Pogba, and right of him, I would play Donny van de Beek. And then Fernandes in the hole, and Rashford and Greenwood up front. And what I would do is I would have two split strikers, so they're covering, the defending, so they're splitting, and then people like Donny making late runs into the box. I mean, I'm talking about tactics here, and it's not going to happen, right, with this manager and coaching setup. But that's how I would play, and I would press. I would press Milan because they don't have any pace up front. We saw against Chelsea. The defensive side of the game against Chelsea was excellent, like in terms of pressing, winning the ball back. And because they had Giroud up front, they didn't create anything because he's got no pace. So our defenders could push up the pitch. And I don't know if you've seen, the Red Bull Salzburg have got an American manager, and he's got two rules, which is to win the ball back in, I think he said win the ball back in 10 seconds. And he goes, if you win the ball back in 10 seconds, then the statistics, the chances of you creating chances, scoring, everything else go massively.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to if you don't win the ball back quickly. So pressing is key. Yeah. And what the voice was saying before about flat performances, you don't know what team you're going to get. There is a pattern. When we come out and we're flat and we're just passive and we're not trying to win the ball back quickly, you just know it's going to be one of those games. It's flat. The ball's being passed around so slow. But when we play like we did against City, against Chelsea, when we are from the kickoff, we are on it and we're pressing. That's when you see the best of Manchester United. So if we play like that tomorrow, I think in a diamond shape, because we don't have wingers. I don't trust Dan James in that type of game.
But he's going to play tomorrow. He's going to play tomorrow, guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, this is my ideal team, but we know what's going to happen. It's going to be the 4-2-3-1. Fred and McTominay, similar team to what played against West Ham.
Energy. Well, at least if they have energy that they showed against West Ham and the aggression they showed against West Ham, we might be able to nick it with Rashford in the first half, because I definitely think we need a goal in the first half. Coming to this now, last bit, I put match preview and this. Just give me your scores, please. Give me your scores. So let's go to the voice. Voice, what do you think the score's going to be tomorrow?
Bro, because the reason why I've not picked a team, and having just watched the first game, I don't know Milan. Like at City, I could have picked a team for you. But I don't know Milan at all. And I'm going to go, man. I'm going to go for a victory, man. I'm going to go for 2-1 United.
Fair play. Irfan, talk to me.
I think we'll lose 2-1 or 2-0.
Okay. Right. Let's come on to this now, what Munda was talking about. So here we go. We got Mohammed Abu Dabul. I can't say that.
Obaidul.
Obaidul Islam. Thank you, brother. Says, Mr. Structure, your thoughts on Oli saying trophies only build egos. I think he was slightly taken out of context when he was saying that. He was saying that he wants Man United to compete again and again. I think, obviously, he's Norwegian and English is not his first language. I think what the point he was making was saying that he other than United being flash in the pan, win a trophy one year, and not built a proper foundation and developed enough to sustain it, to come back the next year to try to compete for more trophies. So that's what he was saying, but I understand he was a bad choice of words saying that, trophies are only built on ego, because some other managers said that, and a lot of our fan base wanted him, and I'll come to you, Irfan, which was Pochettino. Pochettino said trophies are an ego. You know what I mean? He didn't want to win. He wanted to win the Champions League, and he wanted to win the league. You know what I mean? Those are the two real trophies that he saw. But what do you think of what Ollie said about trophies? What's your point of view? I think he was slightly taken out of context, but what do you think what he was saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be taken out of context because he scored the win in the European Cup final, for God's sake. That's all he's remembered for. You know, he's remembered for scoring that winner, you know. So I think I don't think we should take this comment too seriously because what you're a manager for? Are you manager just a manager or manage to win, especially when you're in a club that's been winning for God knows how long, how many years now, even since Busby. If you look at Man United, it's known to be winners. It's known for its trophies. So he wouldn't be saying that because, you know, being under Ferguson, you'll have seen so many trophies that trophy winning in United is part of the DNA. So I don't think we take the comment seriously. But this team, he knows no one's going to take him and his team seriously until they win something. I don't care how small the cup is. We need to win something. Yeah. And the problem is I just can't see us winning at the moment because we've lost 4 semi-finals, or is it 5 or 4? I don't know how many we've lost. Yeah. But we've got a block and we've got to break that block. But that block, I think, needs more quality. We need at least 2 to 3 more players before we can break that block. Mm-hmm. So it might be 5 or 6 semi-finals if we get to them before we change. So I don't think we should take anything about what he said about the ego because there's no way, you know, if he'd won nothing, then I'd believe in what Ollie was saying is ego and trophies, etc. I'd take him, but the guy's a winner, so I don't take anything in that comment seriously because he's a winner and United are winners, and we're only supporters because we like to win. You know, we're lucky that we support a team that wins. You know?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we might need Ollie might need something stronger than Viagra to get over that semi business, if you ask me. He might need something, but you know, what do I know? Mundo, talk to me. What do you think? Do you think he was taken out of context, or do you think it was just poor choice of words? Because I know you wanted to talk about this.
I mean, I can see what he was trying to say, which is winning cup competitions is not good enough for Manchester United. Just settling for that. We need to be challenging for the league. I think that's the point he was trying to make. But in terms of egos and winning trophies, name me one top-level world-class manager or player who doesn't have an ego. All winners have an ego. Alex Ferguson had an ego.
Yeah.
Guardiola has an ego. Klopp has an ego. You know, when you win that trophy, you need that ego. You need that confidence. And the thing I've been saying about this Manchester United team, and it permeates from the managers, right? Moyes, I'm going to leave Van Gaal out because he did have a massive ego, right? But Moyes, Mourinho has an ego, but for some reason at Manchester United, he played down the significance of the fact that we are a big club, like with his Sevilla comments, you know, we haven't won anything in Europe, they've got pedigree. I mean, that was the final straw with him. And Ollie's going down that same slippery slope, right, where he's kind of like, what he should be saying is, we want to win every single competition we're in, right? End of. You might not believe that it's possible. You might doubt it internally, but externally, you need to show that little bit of arrogance. Manchester United used to be arrogant. The way that we played football, the way that we conducted our business in the transfer market, everything was arrogant. We'd go to grounds and we would say, we're going to beat this team. Ferguson had a saying, it's Tottenham, lads. Right? That is the ultimate level of arrogance. All winners have arrogance, and Manchester United have lost that, which is why we get teams like West Ham and West Brom and Palace turning up thinking, we can get a result here. They should be thinking, we're gonna get battered. Right? We're going into this AC Milan game tomorrow. Yes, they're a good team, they're a well-coached team. But when I look at that team, why are we failing that team? What is that? They've got a 39-year-old up front. And we're talking about, we might going to lose 2. We're Manchester United. And this is the thing. Because of the years and years and years and years of, it's like we've been gaslighted by our owners and Woodward and whatever. And Mourinho, that's left a lot of scars on the fan base. So we go into these games, like we take the mick out of the voice because he's optimistic. But you know what? We should all be like him. We should be arrogant and say, we're Manchester United, we're going to win. But we don't, because that starts from the manager and the players and the way that the club is. If they display the arrogance, then it will give us the confidence as fans to be arrogant and think, you know what, we should win these games. But we don't. That Milan team is not a great team. We're playing in the Europa League, and we've got aspirations to play in the Champions League against Real Madrid, Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City, all of these teams with pedigree, and we're worried about AC Milan. So the manager doesn't help. The manager does not help with those types of comments. It does not help. Don't go down with David Moyes.
Really bad choice of words, but go on, the voice. Get your 2 pence in.
Look, I think part of the rebuilding process after 8 years of shit.
By the way, can I just say, I don't know if you can see the voice is Ed Woodward hiding behind Muhammad Ali.
Comment of the day.
Kyle! Mumbai Woodward, yeah? Woodward.
I'm sat in my mansion. I'm sat in the mansion, eh? That's why I've got no camera, bro. I've been paid well.
If Woodward looked like Kojak and was Lebanese, then yeah, definitely it'd be him.
But look, part of the rebuilding process, yeah, is when you look at the old Man United teams, we used to go in against big opposition with not all great players, but there was a belief there. I would change the word arrogance for belief. We don't have that now, but that's the hardest thing, I think, to build. Liverpool didn't have it for a long time. Klopp took 4.5 years to build it. And it's hard to get this. To me, the Europa League, the League Cup, the FA Cup, at the start of the year, when you asked me, Dino, what I thought, I said to you, looking at the way this season is starting, I'm thinking we won't finish in the top 4. But if we can finish in the top 4 and win any trophy, I think that will be an excellent season to build on. The team we've got now, you have to be realistic. In my eyes, I think we're doing really well because we are a top 4 or a top 6 side when you look at what's around us. But Ole is saying to us, look, if we lose tomorrow, don't completely lose your shit. That's what he's saying to you. It's like Liverpool were nowhere in the league. Liverpool were nowhere in the league, but they won the Champions League. Yeah, a cup competition vindicates Ole. It shows the players, look, this is the fruits of your labor. Believe in me, we are going places. Here's a trophy. That's what it will do. But, you know, I want to see performances, man. Consistent performances.
I just want to come to a lot of the things what you commented on. After 2.5 years, Liverpool had a style of play. After 2.5 years, majority of teams in Europe have 2.5 years. People are telling me about Chelsea, and I've been telling people, Chelsea, you know, Tuchel is in his honeymoon period. Wait till something happens and the players turn against him. We all know about Chelsea. Chelsea have got a phone number. They've got the phone number to the owner. You know, I mean, they can just dial the owner. And once they've had enough of their manager, they just get rid of him because the owner just like, okay, the players don't want you anymore. So I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to go. So Tuchel is going through this at the moment. At the moment, it looks like they're very well coached.
Look, if we play well,
let me just finish. The biggest frustration for Ole for me is the fact that he come out on Scandinavian television, Norwegian television, and he said, "I don't do the coaching," and that to me, you can't. No, not Ferguson. Ferguson, when he came from Aberdeen, was doing the coaching till to the least in the 90s with Brian Kidd. Fergie only stepped back and didn't after United won the league. You know, after we started winning trophies, stepped back and then started to look at the whole structure of Man United and created a footballing footprint and a structure. Yeah. But the reason why Ole can be at United for 2.5 seasons and he doesn't do the coaching, it's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that is ridiculous. That is indefensible. Nobody can defend that for me. Nobody.
Look, we have a tendency, I think, since Ferguson left, to scrutinize every manager to the nth degree and make a real meal of it. I'm interested in what happens on the pitch, honestly. And Ole is learning not only on the pitch, but off the pitch, man. He's managing Man United. Expectations now after 2.5 years. Biggest club in the world. He's spent some money. So he's going to make mistakes on and off the pitch. I accept that. I am looking at the team. Is it developing? Are players improving? Are links happening on the pitch? Are we as a unit progressing? Yes, we are. It is slow, it is inconsistent, but it's there. I know there's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, this is not the guy" and stuff, but I've discussed this with Mundo. How long's a piece of string? You could be right. Maybe he's not the guy. But so far, for me, where we are in the league, the performances in the league, what we are capable of doing, and even with the likes of Greenwood and Dan James playing, we're playing some really good stuff against good opposition. But the inconsistencies, Liverpool had these for the first 2.5 years. If you remember, the great Klopp. They might have had the style, but they were losing games, conceding goals left, right, and centre.
Oh, I agree with this, and I agree with you. I agree with you. Till he got the better players, till he got a goalkeeper.
Okay, do we need players? Do we need players? Of course we do.
But
do we need?
And listen, Liverpool are not the same. I'm saying Liverpool and Man United are not the same. The reason why they're not the same is because Liverpool had owners and they have a footballing structure that backs them. But anyway, I'm going to come to Irfan. Irfan, we're talking about Ollie, and we're talking about after 2.5 years, should we be getting a bit more than what we're getting now? We understand. I'm one of those fans. I've stood up for Ollie, but to me, it was a slap in the face for people who were standing up for Ollie for a long time. Because when he said he doesn't do the coaching. Because when I watched his team mold, he used to play 4-3-3 like he did in the first 3 months. I think Ollie did the coaches in the first 3 months. After that, I don't know what's happened. But his team Mulder would play 4-3-3. And Mulder weren't a big team, but still he coached them and he brought the first league title to them in their history. And then a couple of years later, he repeated it again. And I was expecting, and I was thinking, I need to be patient because Ollie, when he gets down on the football pitch, Man United would have a style play. Are we playing a lot of better football than we did with Mourinho? Yes, 100%. How do we like the team? By the way, guys, there's about a bit of you dropping now. There's about 34 of you. Please share, like, and subscribe to this channel. We cannot build this community without you. But I'm going to come to you, Irfan, with this question. Did you expect for us to be playing a bit more better football in terms of patterns of play instead of just the lethargic FC that turns up now and again?
I don't know, because it's a difficult question because we don't know the guy's coaching pedigree. I mean, he's a pretty inexperienced manager. I mean, it's very hard to sort of make any sort of comments or any sort of statements because he was managing Mulder and Cardiff. So he's a novice, to tell you the truth. He's a novice. He's not like a Guardiola or a serious coach. He's not. So, I mean, the way I see the guy is that he was a stabilizing force that we've needed for 8 years. He's just stabilized the club. Now, I think it's amazing that he's got to the stage where we're second. But like I said, we're a counter-attack team. We can't beat a low block. We can't beat a low block. But then he could also say, well, wait a second. How do you expect me to beat a low block with those players? How do you think it's going to work? We don't have any players that can open up teams. So this is the way I've got to play. So I do cut him some slack because, he has stabilized the team and the team's liked now. The fans like him. They're like, you remember what it was like when Mourinho, we were Mourinho's team. Who wanted to watch that United? Anyone watched him when they were playing like that. So, I try to cut him some slack. But, I mean, look, let's be honest. He's trying to be a Fergie, Ollie's trying to be a Fergie. The counter-attacking team, super fast on the break, but we don't have those type of quality of players that we had under Ferguson. We don't have those quality of players. So I think he's doing the best he can do, but he needs. Can
I come in here and say something, right?
He needs a serious coach though, with him. He needs a proper coach, a tactician with him. He can't have those guys that he's got.
I agree. Go on, Mundo.
Just picking up on a couple of points that the voice made. I think you can make a distinction between Man United and Liverpool under Klopp, because Klopp lost games taking chances, right? His team took chances and they lost. We're losing not by taking chances, actually the opposite. Yeah. It's like our managers lost all confidence and our team now sets up negatively with two holding midfielders who are not defensive midfielders in any way, shape or form.
Doing the same job. They were
doing the same job.
Defensive midfielders. They are defensive. Yeah. They're not creative. That's the problem. They're not. They're too defensive.
They're not even defensive because for me, a defensive midfielder is someone like Thomas Partey, right? Because a defensive midfielder has evolved in the modern game. Fernandinho, Partey, Ndidi, They're defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
They can do the job of two men. They can win the ball and they can pass the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are because they don't pass. They might win.
They try to pass, but there's no accuracy in the passing.
Exactly.
Fred gives the ball away all the time. So does McTominay.
So the point I was making about the point that the voice made about the difference between Liverpool and Manchester United is that Liverpool lost taking chances, and don't forget they schooled teams like Real Madrid. They schooled Manchester City, right? They beat them comfortably in the Champions League. They got to the Champions League final. That gave their players a lift. They went to the next Champions League final the next year and won it. And the next year, then they won the league. That's evolution. And even before then, they got to the UEFA Cup final. They lost to a very good Sevilla team. They got to the Carling Cup final, lost to Man City, who were breaking records. So they came up against some very good teams. Even if we just need to get to a final. Let's not even talk about winning. Let's just get past the semi-final first. Let's get to a final.
You know one thing. So sorry, Mando, go on. You were saying.
I was going to say, and finally, the thing I will say is, I have a theory about. I mean, Dino's talking about the coaching and the fact that Ollie doesn't coach. And what I'm seeing is, and I've said this from the very beginning, the way that we play and the way we try to play is like we played in 2008, 2009, 2011, Champions League finals. Similar play, but without the quality of player. Who was the number two? Because in 2008, the number two was Queiroz. Queiroz the one who developed that structure and that team, right? He coached the players. You know, he had a famous fallout with Van Nistelrooy. Yeah. Right? He coached the team. Fergie took a step back. So Fergie handed the reins to him. Now, what Phelan did, because Phelan was the next number two who came in, is that he just continued on the work that Queiroz had done. And I think now he's trying to implement that style on Manchester United because he's the head coach. He's the number two, not McKenna and not Carrick. So effectively, we're being managed by Mike Phelan. That's what I feel, right? Because if Ollie's saying, I'm hands off, I just oversee everything, and the coaches do the coaching, Mike Phelan's the most senior coach at the club. He's going to coach under Fergie. In fact, he wields too much power, in my opinion. I think he has too much influence on Ollie, which is why we're seeing what we're seeing. That's just my view.
Yeah. Well, we're going to just to go to here, Sentiment FC. Ollie's been coaching, managing for the same amount of time, 11 years. He's plenty of experience. Well, he's not experienced at this level, Sentiment FC. He's not experienced at this level. He's experienced at Mulder. He's experienced at Cardiff. He's experienced with youth when he was at United, but he's not experienced at the top level fighting for 3-4 trophies. He's definitely not. This says it to me. That's what they are, honestly. That's what they are. I mean, let me just say something, right? I want to give a little bit of slack because sometimes I can be too I'm too forceful when I make my point. But let me just cut some slack. The players obviously are going through the whole pandemic. So is the whole of football team. That's why we've seen Atletico Madrid stinking out tonight at Chelsea. Absolutely stinking out the place. Obviously, this is a truncated season in terms of COVID is running madness. So if we're struggling with our normal rhythms and patterns in our own lives, right, as fans, could you imagine what footballers who have got high-pressured professional athletes, what they're going through in terms of the things that they would do, the things that they would have, the activities that they would have to chill out, to take the pressure off them, to get out of that pressure cooker, playing for Man United or playing them. And also, this season has been really difficult, I think, for Ollie and the coaches to get on the training ground to do any coaching because we've got games every 3 days. Every 3 days, Man United have been playing every 3 days. So I understand that, and I can cut Ollie, and I think a slack, but I think next season, most likely Ollie will get that contract, 9 million in a year. It's nice when he can get it in it, guys. Nice when he can get 9 million a year. He will probably get that. And to me, then next season, there'll be nowhere to hide. Because I think Liverpool then will get their players back. I think hopefully this COVID thing will be behind us to a certain extent and life will get back to normal in whatever the normal was anyway. So we will see. We will see then where Man United are.
And we'll be back in the stands. The fans will be back in the stands. So
yeah. And one thing I would say, and I say to the voice, I make that concession. I think certain players like Martial become. If you looked at Martial's stats actually this season, he's shooting from the similar positions. He's in the box, similar positions. This season goals have not gone in. I think Martial has missed the fans. Martial is a type of player that plays under the fans. The 2 successful seasons also, when he has somebody challenging him in terms of another striker coming into the club and challenging him, he's not the same. And Ollie needs to work his magic and put more confidence in him. And that's what top managers do. Because the quality is there. Last season, he was over 20 goals. He scored 17 or 18, I think, in the league, right? And the first season he came, he also got similar numbers in the league, right? And what those two seasons tell us is that he was the number 1 choice up front, and obviously he was playing in front of fans. Like this season, there's no fans, and Cavani coming in has sometimes may have hampered him, but we can see already Cavani is just injury prone. Like I said, the guy was a has-been. I said it that time and people had a go at me. I did hold my hands up and say that Cavani's quality on the pitch has been brilliant, right? His quality on the pitch is brilliant, but his injury prone is there to everybody to see. And everybody's like, oh, he's not that injured. I was telling everybody he's the guy who's injury prone because I did the research and I've seen the fact that he was injured. Every couple of muscle injuries. It's all over muscle injuries. Because he's the type of player that gives 100%. You could imagine the way he plays in the game, match day. You can imagine what he's doing in training. He's giving it the 100%. But anyway, before we wrap up, this could have been half an hour, but obviously I had 3 other guests tonight, and plus my big mouth, and you know I can waffle on like the most of them with the best of them. So I just want to come to the voice.
One question.
Yeah.
Let's say Cavani leaves at the end of the season.
Yeah. It looks like he is going. It looks like he is.
Let's say he goes. Do you buy a striker that's an understudy to Martial, or do you need a bad boy striker? Because before you answer, next season, and as you can see the last 2 seasons, if we're going to challenge the likes of Liverpool and City, then you're talking about minimum, let's be conservative and say 80 points. Minimum, absolute bare minimum. What do we need? Do we need a guy to play as an understudy, or do you have to go and bang over 100 million and get somebody a bit special to take us to the next level?
I mean, I like Martial. I'll answer first. I like Martial, but if Man United board, if Woodward and the 2 other bankers can go and spend money, if any time in the history of football owners or football administrators, football directors ever needed an excuse not to spend money, then it's this Man United board and the owners. They've already signing players for Tampa Bay Buccaneers for over like 128 million. They're buying players right, left, and centre. Manchester United is a feeder club in terms of money to Tampa Bay. That's what Man United are. So if you're telling me, I think you don't want to say the name, but the player you're talking about, the striker you're talking about is Haaland. If you think we can go and get Haaland, we're going to need more than that. We need a right winger then, and we need a CDM and
I'm asking about a striker.
If those 4 players are bought, because sometimes, right, the boys, we don't even make chances for Martial and Cavani or Rashford or we don't make chances for them. We create nothing because we don't have the quality. And I would say, for that 100 million, I would keep Martial for 1 more season, but go on, get a top centre-half, a fast centre-half can play with Maguire, a CDM that can do Fred and McTominay's job, right? Fred and Matic, clear the wages. See you later, Matic. See you later, Mata. Clear these guys out. And that's one thing I say give to Ollie's well. Ollie's done that well, clearing out a lot of dead wood. And then I would go and get a proper right winger, other than potential 18-year-old Ahmad. Ahmad should be there, coming on in games, learning. He shouldn't be just thrown in a team. We should go and get an experienced right winger. If we're going to get Haaland, you need somebody who can cross the ball to him, who can set him up. That's what you need, because Man United don't create nothing from the right-hand side. Mundo, answer his question.
I think we could get Haaland, and the reason why I think we could get Haaland is that this board never surprises me in terms of the way they think. They don't think about the way that you just put it about, oh, we need a centre half, we need a right winger, we need we need centre midfielder, right? In terms of building a team, they look at commercial elements of a transfer, right? Haaland is the next big thing. He's like, you got Mbappe and you got Haaland. They're the two most talked about up and comers. After Ronaldo and Messi go, they're the two you're talking about. Manchester United, through their sponsors or whoever, if they want to get Haaland, they will find the money because they will think he'll sell shirts, blah, 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 right? That's how they make their decisions. So I wouldn't be surprised if he went in hard for Haaland, but not for footballing reasons, right? Whether or not he will join us, that's a different question altogether. Exactly. But whether Man United will go for him, I think there's a strong possibility that they will.
Forget Haaland. Forget Haaland. The question is not that, is it? I'm asking you, is Martial good enough to lead the line for you next year? Do you buy a backup striker, or do you need, as Man United, to go after City, Liverpool, minimum 80, 85 points? Somebody, whether it's Haaland, whoever, that's the question. Do you trust
who's available?
Martial
But you tell us who's available. Who's the top strikers now? Who's available?
It's not about, forget who's available a second. I'm asking you a footballing question.
You want somebody better than Martial? You can't give me the name of the player. You want something better than Martial. You want a goal-getter who's available. That's why we all went to Haaland, because Haaland is the guy who's pulling up numbers right now in world football. Nobody else. We're not going to get Lewandowski. Lewandowski's old and he's not going to leave Bayern Munich. So who's the only guy who's pulling up numbers? I even know this in the French league. In the German league, which is not the Premier League as well. And Haaland,
there is one other guy. There is one other guy who's putting up numbers, and he used to be our number 9. Lukaku is the one banging him in. Seriously.
Listen, Elfan, answer that question, please. For the voices question, please. We can't hear you, Elfan. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Sorry, say that again. What was the question again? The question
is, did you go and get a top striker to get us up there with Liverpool and Man City? So Martial is the understudy. Do you get a top striker to replace Martial in the team next season, or do you get another striker who's the understudy to Martial?
We need it. Because of the way we operate, we need look at the experience of Cavani showing all the young strikers the runs,
exactly
how to be in the box at the right place to anticipate. I mean that's been a positive, but look. I agree with you. I'd love to get Haaland, but who's going to make the chances for him? Who's going to make him? I don't see us making teams for a guy like him, because I watched the goals he scores against Dortmund. The chances are coming left and right all the time, and he's always there. They're a super fast, creative team.
Very
they're passing and their movement it's like cities in a way. It's just they don't have the the sort of calmness, and they're a bit frail like City aren't. So we're miles away. I'd love to get Haaland, but we need more than Haaland. We need about 2-3 more players. So, but Husseini's right though, because you never know with this crazy board we've got craziest board, and they are better at making financial decisions about commodities as opposed to footballing decisions. So. You never know. You just never know with these guys,
Well, I'm going to have all you 4 guys back on, and we're going to do a podcast about the structure of Man United, because it's super important. Because actually what you said, F, and I actually disagree. They're not making financial things. Man United are money-making machine, but Man United are not making more money.
I said making financial decisions of these guys, of things in United as commodities. They don't know anything about football, but they look at everything in a business perspective. They're number cruncher guys. They're businessmen. They don't know. They're not like that guy. What's he called? The guy from Seville, their football director. What's the guy called?
Mochi.
Yeah, it's not like that. They're not got that kind of skill.
Yeah. They haven't. They certainly don't. Anyway, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. So I'd like to thank. Have you got any social media, guys? Mundo, have you set up a Twitter account yet?
No.
No, I've not. I will do though. I will set up my football Twitter. Right.
Okay, so. Brilliant. My
Twitter feed, but my Twitter feed is politics. My Twitter feed is not much football, is it?
Well, you never know. Maybe people want to follow you. The Voice. Have you got a Twitter or Instagram or anything like that?
Don't even know how to use them.
He can't even get his face on the screen. Never mind this guy with technology.
Anyway, I just want to say, all of you guys watching tonight, you've been an absolute legends. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute
pleasure, man. Nice one.
thank you so much, guys, and the comments, all of these comments. Thank you, and really appreciate this. And please subscribe and share, because if we want to build this, we're going to be more passionate and heated debates. I'm going to get many voices. Obviously, I won't be getting voices that just agree with everything I say. I want to be getting opposing and people who think about the game in a deeper way. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Peace, love, light. Please subscribe. Tell your auntie, tell your nan, tell your cousin, tell your uncle. They don't have to watch me waffle on. They just need to give me that subscribe. They just need to subscribe. So if you know anybody, you got there's about 40 of you in here watching. So if you got 2 or 3 people to subscribe to this channel, it'll make it worthwhile, and we can build that community where we can get that real therapy. Get down, unpack it all. Hopefully tomorrow, United will get out there on the pitch. Fingers crossed. Rashford, if I think anybody's going to score, it's going to be Rashford. Even though he's touch and go and he's playing with injuries. Those of you who've not seen, check out the press conference with Ollie and Rashford. And the press came for Rashford in terms of talking about his injuries, if he needs the operation. And I thought Rashford batted it all away. He would have been proud of it. He would have been proud of it. He did a brilliant job. Anyway, big up to each and one of you commenting, interacting with us on here. And we'll see you tomorrow night after the game. Hopefully, we'll have Chris and Mundo and the voice back to come and defend. And let's see who wins. I think it's going to be very, very interesting tomorrow. I think if United get the first goal, we might win it. We could win it. But if they score first, I think it could be curtains. Anyway, peace, love, light, greet, and...
I'm waving as well.